Hi guys, welcome to Grooties. Welcome Friday night, Friday the 13th. Always something. It's not an evil day. Friday the 13th is actually a good day. I've never had an issue. I'm born on the 13th. I actually think of it as a good day. So, and even when stuff's bad, it's still good. If you can think that way, life's amazing. Enough of that shit. Let's get to some car stuff. Right. So, 1275 block is all clean. Now, I'll just tell you, she wants to go for a drive. Did you see that? See, she knows that word. She's really wants to. In a little while, we've got to put a crank in S50. Right. So I've had the crank in here. 1.5, 1 thou, 1.5, 1 thou, 1.5, 1 thou. What it means is, I'll show you some witness marks on a bearing. So the crank's been ground. So 1275 crank's mint. Right. It had 1.5 thou bend in the middle. It's been ground perfect straight. Yes, most cranks have a bend, especially if they haven't been ground on a good machine by a competent crank grinder. And the people that built this engine, they're not as confident. No, they're not as competent as my guy. So that's how it goes. All right. Check this out. See the witness mark on the edge of the bearing there, near my thumb? All right, let's sit that there so we don't have to hold it. See how it's got that little bit there? Right. These bearing journals are actually out around. All right. See, it's fine this side where my thumb is, where my index finger, the dirty bit. Yeah. See how it's just picking up the edge of the bearing? Hasn't damaged the bearing. That's not damage. It's just like a protective coating, like a top coat. I will give that. So that one, I actually scratched it when I was picking a bit of plastic gauge back off. So I will clean that a little more. But what I'm shining at is, see how it's picked up the edge of the bearing shell? Right. So I ran some plastic gauge through it. Nice and easy. Plastic gauge has got its place. A lot of people will give you shit about it. Don't even stress. As long as if you're measuring stuff, it's better than not measuring shit. That's how it is. All right. So you can kind of see. All right, let's get our measuring paper. Right. So that one. Oh, sorry guys. That one is about 1 thou. This one back here, I'm doing this with holding the phone too, so you've got to understand that I'm doing pretty good. Let's put it down here. And that one comes out at, it actually comes out at 1.5. All right. Doesn't come out at 1. All right. Comes out about 1.5. So that shows me that the main tunnel's out. Now I've put this in, this bad boy. I didn't want to get it out. We won't call it laziness, we'll just call it, I pick where I put the plastic gauge so I understand. Alright. Alright, so see that? That's there. Now, so that was there. Now we'll turn it to here. Alright. So tunnel's out. Not a lot, but it's out around. Needs to be line honed. So the 1275 will have to come all back apart. Now, I was trying to sneak it in. I knew the main tunnel was a little bit haphazard, not perfect. Sometimes you can sneak it in. You can check all the way around. Like you can check around 2 spots in the bottom, 2 spots at the top with elastic gauge, and you can usually see, right? And it will give you a good idea. The old ball gauge gives you a perfect idea. It takes a little bit longer, a bit more setup and stuff like that, but it's fine. It is what it is. That block will now come back apart. All the bungs will come out, cam will come out, lifters all come out, and I'll ask my machinist in the morning. I've got to ring him on Saturday. I don't like ringing him on a Saturday. I don't like busting their balls. My machinists are good guys, and I don't like to bust their balls. They're very good at what they do, so providing I don't bust their balls, they do shit for me in great time. Now, this engine's got to be put together for Beta Birdwood, October. It's got to be in the car. I spent an extra, there's another $800 that I spent today. So I got some roller rockers for it and some other stuff. I went to get some 1.5 rockers and they'd run out. But I went to Minisport today. Jono's a great guy. Met the owner today. Hold on. Right. We end up with these bad boys. What the thing was I didn't want to use the 1.3s. I had to use 1.5s to get more lift. So we're talking 400 thou lift, which is perfect. Be good on the head. So today we got double valve springs, chrome moly retainers, brand new locks. When the 1275 come back from Sydney from Allen's Motor Engineering, it didn't have any valve springs, didn't have any retainers, didn't have any of the stuff that it should have had. It was missing a bunch of stuff. I was missing main studs. I was missing a main cap. So even if I did want to sleeve the block, I couldn't even use it. It was a bit of a pain in the ass. But old Alan did pay a lot of money back, so that's why we've been able to build this 1275. But all the money he paid back was spent. Yeah. So we've got brand new rear main seal conversion. I've machined the block to suit that so it sits on better, so it'll actually seal and work properly. I've done a bunch of stuff. Now we need to get a quick line home, and it's got to be back together and in the car. I'm waiting on a clutch center plate and a couple of little things. It's got to be back in the car in the next 3 weeks. Has to be in, running by the very start of October. Second week in October, this car's got to be turnkey, done, everything done. Seats moved, sway bar fitted. So much little stuff to do. So that's where we're at. The little 1275 now needs a bit more machining. This is what we do when we play with engines, guys. If you do it right, you just spend the money. If something's wrong, spend the money. The bearings that I bought for the crank, so the crank, when I measured it up, it come up at 2.7 and 3 thou. So this crank had done 1,000 Ks in the other block, and it had been machined with a bend, and it still wasn't right. It was still worn after 700 Ks. Now, where are we? Rightio, here we are. Yeah, my bench is a bit of a mess. Don't judge me. These bearings I bought. So, $140 for the bearings. Won't use them. Can't use them on the other engine either. That's right. They'll stay in stock. This gives you a bit of an idea. So this is a basic breakdown. This is just some prices that I can remember. That's what the block cost. It was $14.08. Where are we? So that was the block. That was the machining to do bore and hone, clean, cam bearing fit, deck the block, a bunch of stuff. So that was that. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Pistons. So pistons weren't real dear. Most of this stuff's not really, really dear here. I'll come up a bit. Seal adapter, I think, was $240. All right. I bought that from ESM. All right. The crank grind was really cheap. That was that's a special for me. I get a lot of stuff done. So realistically, on something like that, a lot of times you don't see this stuff. So being such a tiny little crank, yes, that's cheap. That should be $350. All right, so this gives you a bit of an idea. The cylinder head, all the cylinder head work that I did, head and intake port work, I factored in about $1,000. That's priced without my $1,000. All right. So that's $5,500 worth of bits and machining on an engine that we already owned the crank. We already owned the conrods, the head, the ARP stud kits, most of the stuff. So it doesn't matter how big the engine is, even a tiny little engine such as this tiny little thing. Look at this. Hey. And that's not a rabbit hand. That's my hand. It's not even that big. It's half the size of the engine. Good little motor, lots and lots of money. So next step now, heater's cranking. I'll bring the crank in, I'll let it all warm up. I'm going to go for a drive with the dog. And once everything's up to that 24, 25 degrees, once we've got 20 degrees in here, I'll put the crank in this tonight. And I'll do all the clearancing on the S50, check all that out. If that comes up good, then hopefully tomorrow night, tomorrow night, I've got some videos for you tomorrow night. Probably Sunday night, I'll be putting pistons and stuff in the S50. All the piston squirters are in there. It's all been cleaned. It's had oil gallery bungs put in it. So that's got to go together for Stefan. That still needs timing chain guides, timing chain and a few other bits purchased for it. But I'll get the head on top. I'll get all the crank in and we'll start getting that together as well. So yeah, it's all happening, guys. It's just, I just had to get over the hump of the change of life hump and, you know, start enjoying myself again and going out and doing things. I'm still working my ass off. It's still Saturday, or what is it, Friday night, and I'm still doing stuff. So I'll go out for a drive with the dog, take her up into the hills, and then come back and put a crankshaft in an S50. Well, I hope all you guys are having a lovely night. And I'll put some vids up on Sunday, I reckon, from what I'm doing Saturday night. That'll be fun. No worries. A-Series it is.